In first grade, we use both formal and informal assessments to guide our instruction. DRA is just a reading assessment. Your child reads a book. We ask them comprehension questions about the book, ask them to retell, ask them to make connections about the story. This just gives us an idea that they are able to comprehend on that level and make sure they are reading at an appropriate level. iStation is a computer assessment. The child takes it once a month, and then within the month they can be on iStation to practice certain skills. It assesses the child's comprehension, vocabulary, fluency, alphabetic decoding, and spelling skills. It gives teachers a printout. We're able to see how they performed, what did they answer, and if there's a need that the teacher needs to meet in small group or something like that. It is tiers children. They are tier 1, tier 2, or tier 3. We want your child to be on a tier 1. That is on grade level. We also take spelling inventories. This just at the beginning of the year, middle, and end, and this just allows us to see how your child is progressing in their understanding of different spelling patterns we have taught. Writing samples are taken often. We want to make sure that the child is understanding correct conventions, capitalizing periods in the right spot, handwriting, spelling patterns, able to make stories that are in order, and anything that we've taught in class, we're making sure that they are applying that in their writing. Running records are when your child's reading. We're making sure that they are understanding the story. We're checking to see what they said, if they're making any self-corrections, and that level book is appropriate for them. Math benchmarks allow us to see if your child is understanding the concepts that have been taught and are able to apply them in different areas. And formative assessments are as a grade level. We look at an area that is a weaker one, and we plan different activities to meet those areas to make sure that area is one that grows and becomes stronger and as a grade level. Data collection is used to determine the student progress toward meeting quarterly and end-year standards. That data is collected whole group, small group, and an individual attention. This is just an example of a student monitoring form for math. On the left column, or that first one, we have the objective, what we want them to do. In the middle is what we're going to say to them or the question that they're going to be answering, and on the third column is where the teacher makes their monitoring notes. We type what they did, what they said, anything specific that will help us when we're doing our report cards to make sure that child understands that concept. If it's one that we need to come back to, we will mark that that's an area of growth and that needs to be reassessed as well. Differentiation is very important to our instruction. It's in whole group, small group, and individual. We know that each child learns differently, and we want to make sure that is being used in the classroom. So that's all differentiation is making sure your child is learning at the level they need to, and we understand that looks different for each child. We use pre-assessment, flexible grouping. Kids are in groups some days, and they might be in different groups in other days depending on the needs. We conference with individual students on a daily basis. We conference for reading, math, writing, any skills that we see that they're doing awesome job in, and that skills that we are making sure that they are working and growing in. And our data drives our instruction. We want to make sure what we're teaching is effective and that students are understanding it. If they're not, we will back up and reassess what we need to be doing in order to make sure your children are successful. Our report card is a standard-based report card. Each standard we report if they are exceeding expectations, meeting expectations, nearing or below. That is a quarterly report card. We get our standards, we get the criteria and how we're going to mark your child based on portfolio examples, our records, and our monitoring forms. The first report card for the first quarter will require a parent meeting. This is just so we can make sure that you understand the report card. We can talk to you about it, answer any questions, and make you sure that you know why your child is receiving the marks that they did. If you want another conference for a different quarter, or the teacher wants to conference with you, that is flexible as well. These standards come straight from the text. We make sure that each child is being successful in those, and we want to make sure that those are reported efficiently as well.